So we're starting a new unit. This unit is logs, but really logs are about exponents. So we're going to start with exponents, make sure we understand exponents, and then we will transition into how that relates to logs. So there are some basic exponent rules that we should already know from previous grades. We know that if we have first of all, what's very important is that to apply any rules of exponents, we need to have the same base. Okay, so I have a to the m times a to the n. Okay, I'm going to add those exponents because exponents count multiplication. So we're going to count those and count those together, so we add those. Okay, so if we have a to the m divided by a to the n, the divide takes away from the time, so we're just going to subtract. So again, we're kind of counting up the number of multiplications. We're going to take away multiplications when we divide. We have this other rule, a to the m to the power n. Okay, this is a power to power, so this is grouping the multiplication. So because we're doing groups of them, n groups of a to the power m, we're going to count by grouping or count by multiplication. So those are basic exponent rules that we need to make sure we're familiar with. So when we look at problems like this, we have to be able to, if we want to use exponent rules, we need a common base, okay? Because there's no way we can do anything unless the base is the same. So base 8, base 4, we can't use exponent rules here. We can't multiply the bases together. That never is okay. Okay? In order to apply exponent rules here, we need to have the same base. Now, we should know anyways, that 8 is a base 2 number. We can make 8 by powers of 2. We can make 4 by powers of 2 as well. So what we're going to do then is re-express 8 as 2 to the power 3. And we're going to re-express the 4 as 2 to the power 2. And when we do this, we now have a common base. Now we can apply exponent rules. So here I can combine these exponents, okay, power to power. We're going to do this in groups, okay, so we can multiply those exponents. So we end up with 6x. Here we have two groups of 5x's, so we're going to have 10x. That's the number, although we don't know exactly what x is, we know that we can count them in this way. And then now we can multiply this together and use exponent rules and add those two powers together. And again, we never multiply these bases together. We don't go 2 times 2 and say that we have 4. Okay, this is not how exponents work. Exponents are counting this particular base, and since we're counting, the exponent counts as that base, we can't just change that base. So same thing here. These are not common bases. We cannot apply exponent rules. However, these have a base that is related to each other, base 3. So 243 can be expressed as 3 to the power 5. Okay, so if you didn't know that 243 was a base 3 number, we need to then make sure that we start getting familiar with these powers of 3, powers of 2, powers of 4, powers of 5. Okay, so here we end up with these base 3 numbers. Okay, and then we can now, since we have a common base, we can apply exponent rules to this. Okay, so I'm going to have 3 to the power 4x, 3 to the power 15x minus 5. These are common bases. We now are counting base 3, and we're going to count them up, so we're going to add them together. So we get 19x, and we're going to take away 5. Okay, and if we want to think of that takeaway, well, we're taking away 5 multiplied by 3, which really we take them away with division. So here, the common base is going to be 6, so we want to express everything as a base 6 number. Okay, so this is going to be 6 to the power 2 to the power 1 minus x, and then on the outside here, once we figure that out, it's going to be to the power 2. 216 is 6 to the power 3. Okay, so we have 6 to the power 3, and we're going to then combine all these as a common base. Now we have to count the powers up, so we're going to do the inside. It's easier to do inside out, so I'm going to count up these in this way. So 2 groups of 1 minus x is 2 minus 2x. Okay, we're going to combine those together. So we're going to add those up. Well, I have 2x, and I'm going to take away 2x. Okay, that means divide. So those are going to end up being 0. I have minus 1 plus 2 is plus 1. Okay, that's going to be squared. Okay, so we can just count this up. This is 6 squared plus times 3 squared, 6 cubed, sorry. 6 squared times 6 cubed, so we get 6 multiplied 5 times.